Namato Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening everyone. So today is Thursday, the 17th of September 2020, and this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So thank you everyone for joining, and apologies for slight delay coming on live. Hello Prativa, Simon, Margaret, Manish, and everyone. So this is an ongoing Dhamma talk, and we've been focusing on the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, the first discourse of the Buddha, and talking through the Eightfold Noble Path as a foundation of a Buddha's teachings. And it's been a couple of nights that I have been explaining on the Samma Sati, or the right mindfulness, and why this right mindfulness being such important in Buddha's teachings. And also I was explaining that mindfulness has become more visible and become a very famous in a secular way rather than the Buddhist way. Nevertheless, whether you call it secular or you call it Buddhist meditation, we cannot avoid going through the teachings of the Buddha when we are practicing the mindfulness meditation. And yesterday I was talking that the whole world that we are living in, we perceive through our thoughts. And anything that is coming through, we define it by our thoughts, and the way we perceive the world, the way we talk about the world, all we define by our thoughts, and which has limited our understanding the entire world. So today again, similarly, connecting with the last night's talk, I would like to explain a little bit connected to our own life, and that whatever we do in a day-to-day life ever since we are born, we become mindful. We are eating mindfully, we are walking mindfully. All the actions that we do have mindfulness on it too. But sometimes we become mindful with consciousness, and other time we are not. If there is no mindfulness, then we would not be able to do jobs correctly. And because of we are mindful, all the actions become successful, and we are able to finish that job. And those actions sometimes, if we are not mindful enough with the positive thoughts, that can be influenced by greed, hatred, and delusion. And that is the reason that sometimes when you are working, you try to compare with somebody else, or you try to think that why he or she is not working in this way, why she or he is not helping to me. So creating the resistance and a hate. And meanwhile, sometimes due to the greedy mind, you will be mindful of acquiring more wealth or success without thinking or considering any consequences that may fall or may bring bad to yourself and then to people surrounding us. So that's why practice of a mindfulness meditation is to be mindful of what you do when you are doing with your consciousness. That moment you are doing with a wholesome mind. And when you are doing with a wholesome mind, then there is no greed, hatred, and delusion influencing your any actions. And that brings the real mindfulness. And in this moment, we become a very mindful, and we become a careful. In this carefulness every day, every moment that we do, and then we become more conscious about our own action that we do, and also conscious about the action that may affect to the others. So that's why Buddha's teachings always reflected on the benefit of ourselves, others, and the both. If that is only benefit for ourselves, then that is not good enough yet, because at that time when you are just thinking about the self-benefit, you will not be thinking about any consequences that may cause troubles to the other people. In the meanwhile, if you are just thinking about others' benefit but disregards your own, then again it's not a true benefit. So that's why compassion should come along with the wisdom in the Buddha's teachings. So the real benefit, or the true benefit according to the Buddha's teachings, is beneficial for both parties. And only then it is regarded as a real work, or the true action that one has done. And here, in the practice of a meditation, or in a sammasati, according to the Buddha's teachings, is not about being mindful of other things out there, but it is being mindful of our own body and the mind. How often do we spend time aware of ourselves, our own physical body? Despite we are living with this body ever since we're born, do we spend any time caring about it, reflecting about it, that how hard we are using it, and how much are we caring about it? When we look at the Buddha's teachings on the appreciation, how much we appreciate our own physical body that we are using 24/7 days a week. There are people never thought about their own physical body, and I've seen so many examples that working in so many 2 to 3 companies all day long, and during that time they were just thinking about their financial security and disregards of their own welfare. And as a result of that, later they are in trouble. Some of them have got a heart attack, and some of them got a spark in their brains and paralyzed. And even those who have heart attacks after the bypass, only then they realize that how good or how important it is to care about themselves, their body, physical body. And even this lockdown, COVID-19, there are so many people complaining about it at the beginning, but now they're complaining about why we have to have it. And yesterday I was on a interfaith meeting, and there one of the boys, about secondary school boy, he did research on that how this COVID-19 has affected the people's spiritual life, and about over 200 people responded. In that response, response, he said that the COVID-19 has brought positive response and has given them new ways to connect within. They become more conscious about their physicality, their activities to keep themselves fit, and how to connect with other people. So more reflective about their own life and also more connected to rest of others. So that's why in the Sammasati, the first thing that the Buddha encouraged us to be mindful of is this, our own body. And the second is our feeling. Our feeling is always in a fluctuation. It's always fluctuating. And this is again conditioned by our own mental thoughts and conditioned by the environment that we are in, the situation that we are living. But mostly it is on the basis of our latent defilements, which is bathed in our consciousness. Whenever the situation arises, then we immediately, with our latent defilements or the saved in a subconsciousness, comes out, and that defines the situation into good and a bad. And that's how we experience the pleasurable or unpleasurable. And on that again, the basis of it, we react and we feel comfortable or not, and that also brings happiness or unhappiness. And that's why I normally used to say that the happiness or unhappiness is based on our own hands, or basically Buddhism is a DIY. You don't have to rely on monks or me or the Buddha or anyone else external. It's up to you how you define happiness or success in yourself. There is no Buddha there to make your life better, or there is no monks after doing chantings make your life better. It's up to you to change your life into the happiness or unhappiness, or into the success or unsuccessful. And it's all based on your experience of the situations you are in. That's why the second factor in the right mindfulness is to be aware of your own feelings, own emotions, own experiences, and ability to observe it objectively rather than subjective. Knowing as they are, as they occur at that time, and pondering on that. And if you ponder properly, then you will be able to realize that each feelings that we experience are so fragile and remains only for a moment, and that changes quickly. And what is unchanged is your grasp of that feeling, the fragile feeling that just has arisen. So that's why every feelings are constantly change. An ability to accept that and holding on to that feeling is an emotion that causes trouble. So that's why it's up to you. You choose to be happy or unhappy. You make the whole world is happy or unhappy. No one else. And the third is knowing your own mind. And nothing is out there that we do not define and we do not understand. We all understand things by our own concept and consciousness and with our thoughts. We define things by liking or disliking. We define things by hate or covetousness. But the very moment when you become mindful of your own mind, that how you are thinking, how you are proliferating, How do you understand that? At that moment you will be able to understand that it's all begins in your mind. So practice of a mindfulness meditation is to be mindful of your own mind. Sometimes your mind is happy, then you know that you are happy. Sometimes your mind is unhappy, you know that you're unhappy. Sometimes you like it and you know that you like it. Sometimes you don't like it, you know that you don't like it. So mindfully aware of that objectively. So that's why I normally use the word called, rather than reacting, just respond. And that is the exact what the Buddha taught. Knowing as they are. Do not react. Knowing how it is happening in your own mind. And that helps you to understand that even that change, your mind also changes every moment. A moment before you were happy, and a few moments later you're unhappy. A few moments later you're unhappy, and then changes into the happiness. There's all changes at all the time. Sometimes it changes due to the happiness to the unhappiness, and unhappiness to the happiness. Even just a few steps you walk back, or just a few breaths you took, deep breaths, then that changes too. So that's why the fourth in the practice of a mindfulness meditation is to understand that nothing remains the same. Everything must change. And what is unchanged is our grasp, and knowing that I am holding on to it, and ability to let go. So that's why letting go again is not that you want to let go, but it will happen once you have fully understood that everything must change. So I offer this as tonight's a reflection for you all, and I keep on practicing. And in a few moments' time, we will have a chanting and a guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, may you all be well and happy, and take care. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. See you shortly. Sadhu.